Hello and welcome to Communication Features in Blackboard. I'm Rick Dowling. I'm the coordinator of faculty development for the Center for Instructional Technology here at the University of Alabama. Just wanted to share with you some of the, shall we say, lesser known communication features in Blackboard Learn. But before we do that, I'd like to put in a pitch for our website, cit.ua.edu. We have a lot of very nice material on there about all the technologies which we support. By the way, here's a list of the a mostly inclusive list of the technologies we support. Of course, Blackboard Learn is the thing that we support that touches the most people, certainly now in a world of completely online instruction. Box is our cloud storage and collaboration tool. Zoom, we have just begun supporting that. It is a real-time conferencing tool. Turnitin is plagiarism detection for assignments. Turning Point is our student response system. We call them clickers. People.ua.edu is our professional websites for faculty here at the university. We also support Blackboard Collaborate, which is an additional conferencing tool that exists within Blackboard. And now we have Collaborate Ultra, which is a new and improved version of that. And this green ribbony bit here is Panopto, which is what I'm using to record this webinar. It's not a webinar, it's a recording. I'm using Panopto to record this presentation today. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to march through these as efficiently as possible, but it ranges from selecting a course entry point, adding a banner, creating announcements. We'll have a discussion about messages versus email. We'll look at the Global Navigation Center, how to add your mobile number to give Blackboard a different way to contact you, the OIRA syllabus link tool, and if time permits, we'll take a look at Blackboard Collaborate. So that is our agenda for this time together. So now I'm going to attempt to just jump into Blackboard. So let me quit PowerPoint. Escape PowerPoint. There is no escape from PowerPoint, really. Okay, stand by. If I quit PowerPoint, there we go. Quitting PowerPoint seems to do the trick. I was set up to record a lecture in Panopto, but here is my Blackboard course. This is my practice course. It is called Dowling 2020 Practice. As you can see, there's the name of my course. This is a demo course, a sandbox, so there are no students associated with this course. So let's take a look, pardon me, while I get our agenda back on the screen. So one of the first things you can do in Blackboard is that might assist your students is you can designate a course entry point for your course. And that means by default when we log into Blackboard, of course, we're taken to this My Institution page, which has this My Courses module. It might be in a different spot on the page if you've moved it around, but the My Courses module shows you a listing of your courses. So again, we're using 2020 Dowling Practice. So when I click that, I'm taken to, by default, the course homepage. We can change that, and the way you do that is under the course management menu. Again, this is a menu that we have as instructors. Our students do not see these functions, but it's under this tab called customization, and it's further called, and this is somewhat not intuitive, teaching style. So under teaching style, the selection window opens up and you're able to select your course entry point. So when I click this little triangle to the right of course homepage, I can see that I am able to select any of my content areas that have content, by the way, or tool links. So I'm able to select any of those. Let's just change this. For instance, let's say I want my students to go to the Wednesday content area. So I just dial that up right there. While we're here, let's take a look at some of these other choices we can make. You can modify the menu style. I typically stick with defaults. Feel free to experiment with that. You can also select a banner image. And if you read the fine print here, it says the banner image appears at the top of the page for the course entry point. Excuse me. They recommend creating an image that's 480 by 80 pixels. That's kind of small. Feel free to experiment with that. The ratio needs to be the same, but you can use larger images. I've created a cheesy banner that is it's an image file, but it's text. So let me show you how we add that. You just click Browse My Computer. Here's my banner that I've created, banner.png. It's a PNG file. I made this thing in Photoshop, and you'll soon see I'm not really good with Photoshop. So I've selected the banner.png image, and when I'm done, I click Submit. I get a purple success bar here that makes me happy. So now let's go back to the My Institution page. Here's my course list again. Here's Dowling 2020 Practice. When I click that, notice I'm taken to the Wednesday content area, and my banner, which again is just text, that's actually an image, here's a banner, has been added. So that's how you set a course homepage and add a banner. And again, setting that course entry point is a good way to hopefully direct your students to materials you want them to emphasize or focus on. Another communication tool in Blackboard, and by the way, for this practice course, I've designed, or I've added a little area that I just call communication, and it's about toward the bottom of the course menu. But I used a subheader. This is just highlighted text. It's not an actual link. So the word communication here is just a subheader. And I've used these little dividers to help set this apart from the rest of the menu, as I've done throughout the menu. By the way, to add subheaders or dividers, you go to the plus sign at the top of the course menu, and then you can add a subheader or divider that way. That's how I did that. So let's take a look at announcements. That is a tool in Blackboard. I add that as a tool link. So I go up to the plus sign. Pardon me, I scrolled up it. Select tool link. There are lots and lots of tools that you can add, but the very first, well, it's actually the second one, is announcements. You have to give it a name. There's that asterisk that indicates that, but you can give it a name, and I typically name my tools the name of the tool. It helps me keep things straight. So that's how you would add that. And again, you can choose to make it available now or later. But I've added this announcements page. So here we are on the announcements page. And when I want to create an announcement, I simply click Create an Announcement. And we have some required fields as indicated by the asterisk. Today's Friday. So this is just a simple announcement, but it's study hard. This text box allows me to edit these properties, so I can highlight this text. I can change the font. I can make it larger, smaller. Feel free to edit those as you see fit. I can also choose to date restrict my announcement. That is, it can only appear for a limited amount of time. I'm not going to go with that today. I can choose whether or not I want all my students to receive an emailed copy of this announcement. Feel free to do that if it's something you need to get out immediately. But I can also add within the announcement function in Blackboard a link to there's my little pop-up. So when I select that, I click the Browse button. It opens this little pop-up showing me all of the areas in my course that are available for me to link to. So if I wanted to make sure, for instance, that everybody saw this, here's a PDF link, which is just a PDF that I had uploaded, I would add that right there. And when I click Submit, my announcement has been added. And the course link, as you can see, appears right here. And when I click that, it takes me to my here's a PDF link. So announcements are a pretty handy tool. Typically, you know, I'm going back to the announcements page. And historically, I have used this for like snow days and things. But students are always way ahead of me on that. But if you have an exam or an assignment, you want to make sure everybody sees, the announcement tool is a very good way to share that information with your students. Next up, we have course messages. I'll click that link. And again, this is a tool which I added, +, tool link. Scroll down to course messages. I called it course messages again because I'm trying to keep that standard so I don't forget what it is. But let's visit course messages for a second. Course messages, well, as it says in the fine print there, they're private and secure text-based communication that occurs within your course. That is the key. Course messages only exist within the Blackboard course. You have to be in Blackboard to check these things, to read these things. That's how course messages work. So, okay, so let's go through the process of creating a course message. I'm looking at a mailbox. This is kind of imagine where email was probably around the turn of the century, but that's what this looks like. So let's create a message. I have to populate my recipients. So there's a To button, and I can see everybody involved with the class. I'm going to send this message to our demo user so we can preview it in student view, but there's demo user. I have to move them over to the recipients box. I could select multiple if I desired. There's a CC and a BCC. This is a message. Be sure to wash your hands. That's good advice. These days, you can add an attachment there if you like, but I'm just going to go ahead and send this message by clicking Submit. Okay, so now I have sent the message. There's my happy purple bar. Let's jump into student view and take a look at how this looks for the student. So when I click student view, I'm now viewing my course. Hey, look, it took me right to the course entry point. Woohoo, there's my banner. Stunning Photoshop work. But let's go down to course messages. And here's my inbox, and I can see, oh, I have an unread message. So I click on inbox. There's the sender. I'm getting a lot of messages from this Rick Dowling guy. This is a message, and there it is. Be sure to wash your hands. So that's how course messages work. Go back to teacher view here. But again, the big thing here is that these messages exist within Blackboard, and both you and your students need to visit the course messages link tool, in Blackboard to check those things. And as an instructor, I've used course messages for most of my courses. I do like the way everything's contained within Blackboard, but it might require a bit of education on your part to let your students know that this exists, that it exists within Blackboard. Just help everybody from the beginning. Now, so we've seen the internal messaging product in Blackboard. Let's take a look at the Blackboard email tool. Again, tool link, you add that +, you click on the +, tool link, there's a tool called email. And I have chosen to add that here. So let's take a look at, I'm not going to add it again, but as you can see, you would do that. I've named mine email. So let's visit the email tool and see what it looks like. So this email tool allows you to send emails to your course, to anybody in your course, from the course. So the email comes from the course. And there's various subsets of users. You can send it to everybody. You can send it to all groups. You can send it to all students, all instructors. As you see, there's a lot of different variables there. But let's just send a single user. I can't send this to the demo student because the demo student is a fictitious student and thus does not have an actual email account. So I will send this single users. And again, we have the dialog box that appears. Here are my users. Let's send my colleague Katie an email, and it's from me. Here's the subject. Test email from Blackboard. This is a test, and again, you can modify how the text appears. You can attach files. Whoops, and I scrolled away from the text. And you can request that you get a copy of this email, and this is a major thing right here. Blackboard does not archive these messages as, say, Outlook does. Okay, so when you send this message, there's no record of this kept in Blackboard. Very important. That's why I'm a big fan of course messages. But if you turn on this, a copy of this email will be sent to the sender. I usually check that just to double be sure that I have a copy of that. So we'll submit that. And so now I've sent an email to Katie Penny. I should have also gotten a copy of that, and as soon as I hear that and there's an email. So just to verify that, let me share with you what my email inbox looks like. So here is the email that I just got from this. Test email from Blackboard. This message was sent to the following recipients, and this is the test. So I've set it up to send me a copy, but again, that's how email works. That from looks a little sketchy, so I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the email tool, but it definitely has its place in Blackboard. So return to my agenda here. Okay, so now we've talked about messages and email. Let's talk about, I'll go back to my course homepage here. Let's talk about the Global Navigation Center. And this is one of those esoteric things that Blackboard has. But my account information up here at the right by my name, if I click on that, we're now visiting the Global Navigation Center. It sounds really exotic. What I'd like to share with you now is adding ways that Blackboard, adding a way that Blackboard can get in touch with you if necessary. So under the Global Navigation Center, under Settings, there is a Personal Information link. I'm going to click that, and I want to edit my personal information. Once I click that, we see the Edit Personal Information page. Now, this is kind of misleading because we really can't edit that much. Our first name, last name, all this stuff comes from Banner, so Blackboard can't do anything about that. Your username, that's all fixed. However, you have the option of adding your mobile phone number. No dashes, by the way. That's very important. Now, the first question I get asked about this whenever I share this with people is that, does this get published anywhere? Does it get published in the course? No, it does not. This is just giving Blackboard a way to send you notifications, and we're about to look at the notification settings. So if you want to add, this is completely voluntary. Your students can do this too, by the way. You could share this information with your students and allow them to add their mobile numbers. Again, it's not published. You're not going to get a list of those as an instructor, but it is there. So I've already added mine, so I will cancel this. So now let's revisit the Global Navigation Center. Go down to Settings again, and let's look at Notification Settings. So what you see here is the Edit Notification Settings page. I can individually modify notification settings for all of my courses. And as you can see, I got a bunch of courses. Every course I've ever had since we started using Blackboard, still here. You can bulk edit notification settings for all the courses you're teaching or all the courses you're taking. So this is up to you. But let's take a look at 2020 Dialing Practice, which is my actual course that we're in today. So I'll click on that, and I'm taken to the notification settings page for this particular course. Notice my notification destinations. There's my email address. I've added my phone, so I can now have Blackboard send me SMS or text messages, or if I prefer, I could get the weird robot message reminding me of these course activities that we're about to take a look at. So here are the settings, and here are the Blackboard functions that we can be notified about. And it ranges from announcement available, assignment available, assignment due, assignment needs grading. That's and by the way, this list will be a little bit different for your students. But as you can see, there are course functions. I encourage you to test to experiment with this. But notice I've set up, because I use course messages, I've set up Blackboard to notify me via email whenever I receive a course message. So when I receive a course message, I will also receive an email. I can also set up Blackboard to notify me via, again, SMS or text to voice. It's kind of comical if you enjoy robots reading you they don't actually read you the message. It just lets you know you've received one. So you could dial this up however you'd like. Let's just leave it for course message received. I will click submit, and now we've edited our notification settings. Let's go back to my institution, and let's go back to my course. Let's jump into student view and send me a course message. So now I'm demo student. I'm going to create a message. I'm going to send it to me, the instructor. Right. So the message is, the subject is message, and it will be, "Hi Rick. Here's a message." So that is my message. I will submit that. And now let's return to the teacher view. So I'm just curious to see is how long this notification process takes. So of course I'm in Blackboard. I could jump right down here to course messages, and I see that I have an unread message. So that happens pretty instantaneously within Blackboard. But I'm just curious to see how long it takes Blackboard to notify me of this via email, and I should get an indication when the email comes. So we'll jump back to that when that happens. Another tool that we have that is pretty helpful for a lot of folks, although probably this late in the semester we're not as concerned about adding our OIRA syllabus tool. I'm sorry, the Office of Syllabus Management syllabus tool. Again, +, tool link. And I believe okay, that does not appear. So we will just go on past that. Let's take a quick look at Blackboard Collaborate. So I mentioned Blackboard Collaborate has a new version. It's called Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So when I click Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, there's the link to Collab Ultra. I encourage you to experiment with this. I'm not sure how much I can demo while I'm capturing using Panopto. It's one of those tricky things. But there is a course room, and by room, it's a virtual room that you can create sessions in. You can create scheduled sessions for your class. Again, this is a synchronous meeting tool. It has two-way audio, video, chat. There's a whiteboard, and you can screen share. So this is what Collaborate does, and does it pretty well. The new version is a significant improvement over the old version of Collaborate. So with that, I'll return to the home page. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful, and please let us know at our email address, cit@ua.edu, if we can assist you with any further activities or questions, or if you need information about any of these tools. Thank you very much.